Live League Game of the Day. Featuring Chloe Box as Von Bolt versus StanleySimpleton as Hawk.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Semi-original guy here, aka Mr. Cannon from Advanced Wars by Web, bringing you another Live League Game of the Day. Today, folks, we have ourselves an Operation Stromboli is the map that we are playing on today, folks. It is a triple base airport port and comm tower supported matchup, and we have Chloe Box and StanleySimpleton as our players today, playing as Von Bolt and Hawk, two members of the Black Hole Army, two former commanders of the Black Hole Army. For those of you that don't know, Hawk was temporarily the commander of the Black Hole Army, and Von Bolt, when Dual Strike came around, became the commander of the Black Hole Army when the Bolt Guard was introduced. The Bolt Guard, what a weird faction that is, folks. What a weird faction indeed. But nonetheless, we have ourselves a game here today, folks. So we got two very, very good players when it comes to this one. So I think we're going to have a great time. Now, as we can see here, we do have a technical strong side versus weak side. Whoa, all right. Strong side versus weak side scenario over here, folks. Maybe a little bit of a jack-o'-lantern feel for all those people that are into the Halloween. Whoa, Halloween is just around the corner, folks. All right. So there's a couple things that need to occur in this matchup. So one thing, you will need to acquire a port. Two, you will need to make a black boat. Three, you will need to send that black boat over here and capture these properties. Now, if you don't want to do that, alternatively, what you can do is you can move over here. You can do this. You can capture the airport. You can build a transport copter, and you can send the transport copter all the way over here. But that would take a very long time. Very long time indeed. It might be more worthwhile to just get a black boat, but whatever you decide to do, as long as you get those properties and the comm tower, I think it's very important to get the two airports in this one. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I don't know. But aside from that, folks, it would appear to me like this is an HQ rush map. Yes, that's what it looks like to me. Now, mainly because we have two bases plus airport over here if you acquire it, which are going to be able to assault the HQ right here. You only have one base to defend. Technically, this base could come over here and defend, but these bases will probably be more worthwhile going down here and striking the opponent's HQ as well. So who wins in a HQ rush match between Hawk and Von Bolt? The better player, folks. The better player. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see what went down in the Live League today. Bam, 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 bam. Bum, 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 bum. Gotta love the old Drakey boy theme, folks. Drake. What a CEO Drake is, folks. He's big, he's jolly, and he loves his country. That's about it. You know who else loves their country? Standard infantry builds, because you got to get the infantry on the field, folks. It's the number one priority in Advanced Wars by Web. And what unit is more dedicated to their own personal army than the infantry? They acquire property for the army. They defend the army. They will sacrifice themselves for the army, all for the greater good of victory. That is what infantry do. And we need to applaud and respect the infantry, folks. The infantry are the backbone of Advanced Wars. So next time you see an infantry, make sure to give them a high five and tell them it was from Semi. Now, as we can see here, folks, we have ourselves just the general old-fashioned chains. So not really anything too extraordinary right now, folks. But StanleySimpleton's busted out the first tank of the game, folks. Get the big old tanky boy on the field. He's ready to go. Chloe Box also building a tank. Now, some people would do something different than what Chloe Box would do. Because this is one thing that I have seen a lot. And this is something that I see a lot when it comes to, I would say, like, I wouldn't say necessarily like lower rated players, but like maybe like 1,000 rated, which is still pretty high in the grand scheme of things, folks. If you're like 1,000 rated Advanced Wars by web player, even 1,100, you're in like the top percentile of players. Now, once you get to like 1,200 or so, you're getting like fairly even higher in that percentile. Not many people have actually really broken the whole like 1,300 plus rating. Like, there's only a few hundred out there that have done it in the like 17,000 players that have registered on the site. So, you know, if you're sitting around like a 1,000, you're doing good. Just know that you're doing good and keep up the good work, folks. But one thing that I do see is sometimes people will buy a tank on this side to try to immediately counter the tank here. Now, sometimes that can work out for you, sometimes it won't. What that might do is if you build the tank over here, you're going to be having less infantry. And if you have less infantry, that means you're not going to be capping as many properties. StanleySimpleton over there has 2 bases, so he's going to be able to buy an infantry plus a tank every single turn. Now, alternatively, what would happen is you would have 2 infantry over here every single turn. So these guys would be able to go over here and start capping properties, but you would lose the tank war overall. Sometimes. I don't know. Some maps, it works out. Some maps, it doesn't. This map, I think it is much more worthwhile to buy the tank over here and send the tank over here and mimic the destruction instead of just meeting it head on. Worst case scenario, you can always send the tank in the middle. That's about it. All right, folks, let's carry on. We got a port. Got the ports acquired now, folks. Wonderful little port. And the infantry are rolling up now. StanleySimpleton unable to buy the second tank of the game here, but Chloebox also technically unable to buy a second tank, which is going to turn this into a delayed BABA tank order, which is kind of a little bit odd, but whatever. Is what it is. Is what it is, folks. And what it is Advanced Wars by Web Live League. All right. Got some more infantry rolling up here. Nobody has really made a play to actually acquire the airport and the comm tower yet, but you don't want to do that right away, folks. You do want to do it at some point, but you want to make sure that you get a really good foothold on the front of the match first. You gotta be getting those units on the front line first before you do anything else. But you do want to get it. You want to get it, especially in Live League, folks, because, like, you know, every single property counts in Live League. All right. Oh, this is a very interesting scenario here. So StanleySimpleton is opening up himself to an attack. But this is bait. This is absolute bait. So this tank can go up and he can attack this, and it might even seem like a good trade, folks. You know, on first glance here, you have this. This is what we are dealing with here. It's going to be a 60 to 69% damage attack with only 21 to 25% counterattack. So that's going to be a 8-4 trade. But if that tank moves up and takes that engagement, the tank is doomed because it's going to be hit. Well, right here. So it's going to be hit. It's going to be counterattacked, and then it's going to get surrounded, and then it's going to be stuck, and it's going to be doomed. So you don't want to do that. Maybe Chloebox is going to do it. I don't know. But I feel like she doesn't have enough tanks on the field right now in order to warrant such an attack. Now, she might go for it. You never know. And if she does, well, power to her. But I don't think she's going to go for it. I think Von Bolt, tactical Von Bolt play is all about defense. You gather your army. You sit on high defense terrain. And you just have yourself a good time. That's it. Got the battle copter on the field right now. Folks, Chloebox bursting out the battle copter. It's here, and it's ready to go. That's going to force StanleySimpleton to either buy a battle copter of their own or buy an anti-air. Now, in this scenario, an anti-air would be the better of the 2 picks. Mainly just because you're not going to be able to get a battle copter over to that corner fast enough. And that battlecopter is just going to rip you apart. It's going to absolutely tear you a new one, folks. And that is not something that StanleySimpleton wants. He does not want to be torn a new one by a battlecopter. He wants to destroy the battlecopter. We got a flippin' transport copter on the field here, folks. StanleySimpleton, transport copter. He's going for that airport, folks. He is going for the airport. He's going for the comm tower. He is going for the firepower. Now, you do actually need 140% firepower in order to break a Von Bolt tank with 2 tanks of your own on a city due to the 140% defense. So, unless he's got that kind of firepower, he's not technically going to be breaking it, but he's going to be able to do a buttload of damage. At least be able to take it down to 1. I think you're going to be... I think you would have the 33% chance of clear, but it's not a perfect chance clear. So that's what I'm saying. It's not 100%. It needs to be 100%. That's what we gotta get going on over here. 100%. That's what we need. All right. Oh, we got tank engagements. Oh, 6-6. See, this is why it kind of sucks attacking a Von Bolt. That's technically city defense right now. And you take a 6-6? Oof. And it's only 1 comm tower Von Bolt, too. That's only 120% firepower. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. But, you know, sometimes you got to take engagements, folks. If you don't take engagements, well, you can't win. Because you can't win without shooting something. Well, you can. You can cap the HQ. But good luck doing that without shooting something. All right. Got a battle copter on the field from StanleySimpleton and a Chloe box. Seeing the free dudes, folks. She is seeing the free dudes, and she is going for them. She is destroying them. She is clearing infantry. She's acquiring unit count leads. 27-24 right now. 74,800 value. 19 properties. StanleySimpleton sitting at 24,060. 7,700 total value. 18 properties per turn. Is not going to be acquiring a single property this turn, unfortunately. That is a fat anti-air hit, folks. Now, when you go in for a fat anti-air hit like this, you got to be blocking off the tank, folks. And that is what this man is doing. StanleySimpleton attacks this tank and blocks with the infantry so that the anti-air takes absolutely no damage. Now, this does open up this tank to an attack, which means that the tank is going to be destroyed. And that's not good, but it had to happen. And honestly, it had to happen, folks. If it didn't happen, well, the front's probably going to fall. And we don't want that to happen. Transport copter is now moving out, folks. It is just a few short days away from acquiring either another airport or another comm tower. Let's see what the Chloe box decides to do here. Snipes out an infantry, takes the battle copter forward, blocks with the infantry. Now this is a very, very good move. Doesn't attack, doesn't do anything, just sticks the infantry right here. And that's it. Because there's no way of being able to break this. Yep, there's no way. Oh wait, no, there is. Depends. Okay, you know what? Chloe box. If she wants the battle copter to be safe, she has to join this infantry with this infantry. That's what has to happen. If she doesn't, there's an attack here, there's an attack here, there's a wraparound. So, hopefully she does that. Well, I guess, yeah, you don't necessarily have to do that either. You could just attack. I'm always thinking about that defense, folks. Always thinking about that defense. But you know what? It does make more sense just to go in and attack. Very good. Very good indeed, folks. Alrighty, let's carry on. Alright, got another tank on the field. Ooh, another infantry gone right now, folks. And the cultists are moving in, folks. They are waiting, ready to spread the good word of the Chloe. They're going to be spreading that Chloe word all over the place, folks. All right, got a snipe on an infantry, got an attack on another one, got the clear, got an attack. So right now, it does appear like the anti-air is safe. Ooh, another tank trade. All right, coolio. Day 12. Do. Things are getting tense here, folks. Things are getting tense. Now, Chloe box is obviously going to be able to run away with the battlecopter. Doesn't need to stay in the range of the anti-air. Anti-air 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Battlecopter could loop around here. Get this, get that, and get this. 2 infantry gone right there. This tank is doomed. But an anti-air is needed. An anti-air is definitely needed up here. This one right here. So you can go over here. Alright. This is going to be a good turn. It's going to be a good turn, folks. Let's see what Chloebox decides to do. Be attacking. Getting the... Oh my god. The absolute massacre of that unit. Jesus. Jesus Louises. Holy moly. And Lucky 21 up there, folks. The Blackjack infantries are up there. Ready to go. Alright, so Chloebox is investing heavily in the south corner right now. You can see she's got a large amount of units. StanleySimpleton doesn't really have a whole lot that can contend with that right now. He's got a few battlecopters. Battlecopters can't go up and attack without being destroyed. So what's he going to do? What is he going to do, folks? I don't know what he's going to do, but I'm all for it, folks. We're going to find out. He's got an artillery on the field, which is blocking the airport. So we know that we're not going to be seeing any air units this turn. That is fine. We're going to be sniping out an infantry, building a tank, moving the battlecopters, and moving the tanks down to a safer position. The comm tower is being acquired down south, folks. Battlecopter takes another free dude. Another free dude down. I think that might have been a join of a tank. Was that a join of a tank? Yes, it was. Ooh, full HP tank right there, folks. Scary. That is absolutely scary. It's super scary when Von Bullet joins units. I'll tell you that much. This is when you think that you got their units down. Boom. No, you don't. There's just a fresh one right there. So it would appear like Chloebox is doing pretty good. Chloebox is doing pretty good right now. 20 properties. 1 comm tower. To 18 properties, 1 comm tower. But StanleySimpleton. He is a man who caps the comm tower first before doing any actions. What an absolute legend. Takes out an infantry. Moves in with a single tank. A single tank versus 4 tanks. 2 anti-air and an artillery. And 5-6 infantry. Takes an engagement. Moves the infantry up. Takes another engagement. Moves the battlecopter into range. Pops a black wave. The black wave of destruction, folks. Oh my lord. And look at the damage that it managed to do. 109,000 value down to 96,000 value. 1 damage to everything on the map. That allows for an anti-air clear. That allows for an infantry clear. And that is going to be repairs, folks. That is going to be repairs all over the map. And he busts out the classiest unit in Advance Wars. By Web, the Class C medium tank is on the field, folks. It is now time for the game to begin. The games always begin when the Classy Boy shows up. Now, Chloebox is still quite a ways away from being able to actually bust out the Ex Machina, but is acquiring multiple properties down south. If she acquires these properties, that means she is going to be at like 22,000 properties to 16. And with a player that is as good as Chloebox having that much of a lead, that's not a good time. That is not a good time, folks. What will StanleySimpleton do? What can StanleySimpleton do in this scenario? It is looking dire. It is looking absolutely dire, folks. But StanleySimpleton is not the kind of man to just sit idly by, waiting for defeat. No, he is the man. He is the type of man to face defeat head on and say, I will not lose. But then maybe he'll lose. I don't know. We'll find out. Takes out an infantry. He attacks a tank. Clears a tank. Gets a shot on the anti-air. Very good shot. Hits the battlecopter. And now we have an Ex Machina, folks. The Ex Machina is going to be hitting this turn. The medium tank. The medium tank is going to be the greatest bait here, folks. That is what the medium tank's role is in this game. It is going to be baiting an Ex Machina. Now, there is a possibility that the Ex Machina doesn't hit there. There is a small possibility. But it's not very large. I don't really know exactly what the values are, and I'm not going to calculate the values because I don't want to. But there is a possibility that if Chloe Box wanted to, she could sacrifice the anti-air into this. She could sacrifice the battlecopter into this, or this, destroying these two units, which would make this a possible Ex Machina target. But I think this is undervalued. I think this right here is still more value. Even this medium tank and the black boat should technically be more value. So it's probably going to hit here. But it might hit there. But it probably won't. It would be a lot better if it hit over here, because that would mean that Chloe Box would probably just outright win this game at that point. But let's see. Let's see. Is she going to be popping the Ex Machina? No. No, she's not. She's not going to be popping the Ex Machina, folks. She's going to be holding on to the Ex Machina. The Ex Machina! Just holding on to it. That's terrifying. That's honestly one of the scariest things you can see in Advanced Wars, is somebody holding on to an Ex Machina. It's like, I could pop this. I could. But I'm going to hold on to it, and I'm going to make you sweat. I'm going to make you sweat until you have absolutely no hydration left in your body. But StanleySimpleton, he sees a move. He goes in. He attacks the black boat. The HQ is vulnerable, folks. He moves on to the HQ, begins a capture, takes out a battlecopter, and then surrounds. He full surrounds the infantry. Busts out a second classy boy, folks. That is a double classy boy bait missile right there. Any Ex Machina that is dropped right now is going to land directly on those medium tanks, and there's nothing that can stop it. The Chloe Box sees the threat, sees the danger right now, and needs to come up with a plan of action in order to stop this threat. Now, what sort of action will they be able to do? Well, it's probably going to involve destroying this. This infantry has to fall. This is what needs to happen. The infantry needs to fall. The only way it can fall is battlecopter plus battlecopter attack, which would leave for infantry to move in here, take this out, allowing battlecopter to move in and attack this, interrupting the capture. And that's it. That's all you can do. So very interesting. There is one other thing that you might be able to do, and I want to see if it's even possible. Nope, it's not. Okay. The other thing you could do in this situation is if you're trying to... Okay, so I guess you can do that too. I mean, that's fine. Whatever, you can do that. But, you know what? I like my idea better. My idea is so much better. He builds the Soiled Abomination. No, I definitely like my idea better. Soiled Abominations. What is it doing on the field? Get it out of here. So this was a good move by Chloe Box, though. Very smart player right now. Manages to break up a few lines of attack here, but StanleySimpleton has a move. He's got an attack here. He's got an attack here. Maybe if he can take out the battlecopter, it might be okay, but something has to happen. Something needs to happen in order for him to continue this capture. Let's see what he comes up with, folks. He's going to be attacking the battlecopters. He's attacking the battlecopters, folks. Oh, he is popping a black wave. Mid-turn black wave. Second battlecopter. We had one, yes. But what about the second battlecopter? Oh my god, and it rolls in here. Just destroys the entire line. Oh my god. And just like that, folks. Just like that. StanleySimpleton finds the line. Attacks the HQ. Gets a capture. 4 points left. How do you break this line? You cannot, folks. You cannot break this line. And StanleySimpleton knows it. He knows it so much that he busts out a pipe runner as a Ex Machina bait, folks. And it gets hit with the Ex Machina. And that is all she wrote. That is all she wrote, folks. He's going in for a double. and resigned because Stanley Simpleton found the pathway to victory and managed to pull it off. What an absolute crazy match. What a crazy match between these guys. Chloe Box, sheer winner over here. Absolute domination. But, unfortunately, just left the HQ a little bit too vulnerable, and Stanley Simpleton, with his wonderful hawk face over here, found the path to victory. So congratulations to Stanley Simpleton. Well played, Chloe Box. Always a pleasure watching your games. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and if you did, consider leaving a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel, folks. I'll see you on the next one. Take care, and bye-bye for now.